A midnight cramp feels like a shock, but it's really a message. Ignore it, and small imbalances can quietly drain your sleep, your focus, and your strength. Stay with me for a calm, natural path to relief that's safe, practical, and built on what your body actually needs. Last night, a sudden calf cramp grabbed my leg like a vice and yanked me awake. If you've ever felt that lightning bolt tightness in the middle of the night, you know the mix of surprise and frustration that follows. I used to brush it off as random bad luck, until I noticed a pattern. Busy days powered by oversized coffees, a diet soda in the afternoon, a drive-through meal eaten in traffic, and a late dinner heavy on salt and light on greens. That's when the random started looking a lot like a message. The body was whispering first, then raising its voice. This is a warning sign. Let's translate that sign into plain language. Recurring night cramps, tingling feet, or a restless urge to move your legs aren't just inconveniences. They're often your body's way of saying your fluid and mineral balance needs attention. No panic, no drama, just a practical nudge. The human body runs on tiny electrical signals. Muscles contract and relax because minerals, especially potassium, magnesium, and sodium, shuffle in and out of muscle and nerve cells. When everyday habits send those minerals out of balance, the signals get noisy. The result can feel like a Charlie horse that interrupts your sleep and steals your morning energy. Before we do anything fancy, I want to earn your trust with straightforward actions that you can start today. These are not magic bullets. They are small, consistent moves that compound into better nights. First, reset the afternoon rhythm. Cap caffeine intake earlier than you think. Many people do well stopping around early afternoon. That free refill coffee on the way home feels productive in the moment, but keeps urine output high and sleep quality low. Consider swapping that refill for water taken with your meal, not in one giant chug. If you enjoy decaf, remember it still contains a bit of caffeine, so treat it with the same respect. Second, balance the evening plate. Build half your dinner from colorful produce, spinach or kale sautéed with a dash of olive oil, roasted sweet potato, or a simple salad with avocado. Add a palm-sized protein and keep sauces in check. Many restaurant-style sauces are salt bombs in disguise. A small handful of pumpkin seeds or almonds after dinner adds magnesium without complicating your routine. None of this is restrictive, it's restorative. Third, hydrate with intention. It's not about drowning yourself in water at 10 p.m. Spread sips through the afternoon and early evening, then taper. Aim for pale straw urine by bedtime. Clear as glass all day can mean you're washing out minerals faster than you replace them. If your clinician has cleared you to use a pinch of mineral-rich salt in home-cooked meals, especially after sweating or long walks, do it there, not by chugging sports drinks you don't need. Fourth, teach your calves to relax on cue. Right before bed, spend 2 minutes per leg. Gentle wall calf stretches, slow ankle circles, and a foot-rolling massage with a tennis ball or frozen water bottle. Breathe out as you stretch, let your shoulders drop. Small ritual, big payoff. Fifth, check your sleep setup. Tight sheets that point your toes downward can trigger night cramps by keeping your calves shortened. Loosen the bedding at the foot of the bed so your ankles can rest neutrally. Simple, but often overlooked. Here's the part that surprised me when I learned it. Sometimes night cramps aren't about not enough water, but about not enough minerals relative to the water you're taking in. That's why piling on extra glasses right before sleep can backfire. Hydration is a balance, not a race. Because we're talking about health, a quick note of caution. If you live with kidney or heart conditions, are pregnant, or use medications that alter mineral levels, like certain diuretics or blood pressure drugs, don't add new mineral strategies without professional guidance. And if your cramps come with red flags like persistent weakness, swelling, or numbness, get those evaluated. Educational content is most powerful when paired with responsible care. I promised you something practical and easy to remember. Later, you'll learn a simple 3-color check that helps you gauge hydration quality in under 10 seconds. No apps, no gadgets. I'll also walk you through a gentle evening infusion made from a common kitchen ingredient most people toss away, including the exact preparation where the details matter. Small differences in quantity or timing can change your experience. Too much of a good thing can upset your stomach or shift your minerals in the wrong direction. That's why sticking with the precise method matters. For now, try this. Move your last caffeinated drink earlier, build a greener dinner plate, sip steadily in the afternoon, stretch softly before bed, and free your ankles from tight bedding. Tonight can already feel different. The body's warning sign is not meant to scare you. It's meant to guide you towards small choices that restore calm to your muscles and clarity to your sleep. The next tip is one of the most important. Ignoring it won't just limit your results. It could lead to serious side effects if you're not careful, so follow it with attention and a calm, informed mindset. Remember that late-night calf squeeze, the one that felt like a rogue piano note in a quiet room? There's a reason it shows up after long, hectic days and convenience-first meals. Your body is an electrical orchestra. Every graceful movement, every steady heartbeat is a signal traveling across nerves and into muscles. Potassium and magnesium help the signal start and stop. Sodium helps carry it. Calcium joins the choreography so the muscle contracts and releases. When daily habits nudge those minerals out of balance, the music goes off key. The cramp is not random, it's feedback. Here's the part few people expect. Both too little water and too much water at the wrong times can contribute to that restless, cramp-prone feeling. Think about a typical North American day. Large coffee to start, a second cup on the commute, a diet soda with lunch, maybe an energy drink at the gym, then a salty takeout dinner. Caffeine and some sweeteners increase urine output. Salt pulls water into the bloodstream and out of cells, and your overall mineral pattern leans high in sodium and light in potassium and magnesium if fruits and vegetables are scarce. Add a sweaty afternoon run or a hot day in the sun, and the balance tips further. Let's make that practical. Potassium-rich foods like bananas, avocados, white beans, and roasted sweet potatoes help quiet overactive muscles by supporting nerve signaling. Leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, and almonds offer magnesium that tends to be low when diets rely heavily on refined grains and ultra-processed snacks. None of these need to be complicated or expensive. A grocery store rotisserie chicken beside a large mixed green salad with avocado and a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds is a 5-minute meal that supports mineral balance better than a drive-through combo. Another twist that catches people off guard. Heavy water intake without mineral support can dilute electrolytes and make cramps more likely, especially if you've been sweating or you follow a lower carbohydrate pattern that naturally causes your body to excrete more sodium in the first weeks. Instead of heroic chugging sessions, spread your hydration across the day. 6 to 8 steady sips every half hour works better than ignoring thirst for hours and then downing a bottle at night. Pair water with meals so it moves into your cells alongside nutrients. Keep your last full glass roughly 90 minutes before bed to avoid sleep-breaking bathroom trips. Caffeine deserves a closer look. A couple of cups in the morning can fit just fine for many adults, but consider a cutoff in the early afternoon. The free refill habit snowballs. More restlessness, more overnight wake-ups, more next-day cravings for caffeine, and a loop that frays hydration patterns. If you love the ritual, switch to herbal tea or simply enjoy the warmth of a mug without the stimulating compounds. The same goes for evening alcohol. While a drink may feel relaxing, it suppresses anti-diuretic hormone and pushes water out of the body overnight. Wake up thirstier, and your muscles may let you know about it. Salt isn't the villain, context is. Restaurant meals and packaged snacks are often salt-dense, but when you cook at home with whole ingredients, think baked salmon with lemon, a sheet pan of vegetables, or a quinoa bowl with black beans, adding a modest pinch of salt can actually help you feel and perform better, especially if you're active or live in a hot climate and perspire. If your clinician has advised you to limit sodium due to health conditions, follow that guidance strictly. The point here is balance. Too much or too little salt can both cause trouble. Let's talk technique, because the way you do things matters as much as the things you choose. Gentle evening stretching should feel like a long exhale, not a wince. If you use a foam roller or a tennis ball on your calves and arches, move slowly enough that your breathing stays easy. Keep your toes from pointing downward under tight sheets. And when you plan your dinner, aim for color and texture. Greens, oranges, and purples on the plate are a simple shorthand for a broader mineral profile. There's also a humble kitchen detail I can't wait to share. The part of a fruit most people discard can be transformed into a calming, mineral-friendly infusion. When prepared correctly, it's gentle, aromatic, and easy to digest. When prepared poorly, it can turn bitter or upset your stomach. The difference is all in the ratios and heat. I'll show you the precise, measured method soon, so you can avoid those pitfalls. Because we're dealing with your health, here are level-headed guardrails. If you have kidney disease, heart failure, or use medications that affect potassium or sodium, don't experiment with high potassium or high sodium foods and drinks without medical supervision. If you notice cramps alongside swelling, persistent weakness, chest discomfort, or numbness, get a professional evaluation. Educational guidance is powerful, but it isn't a substitute for clinical care. To put today's insights into action, choose one upgrade you can keep for a week. Move your caffeine cutoff earlier, build a greener plate at dinner, or spread water evenly across the afternoon. Notice your sleep and morning energy. Small consistency beats big intensity in this arena. Your muscles don't need perfection. They need predictability. And here's a practical curiosity to carry into tonight. If your urine runs very clear all day long and you're peeing every hour, you may be washing out minerals faster than you replace them. Pale straw is a better target than crystal clear. That simple awareness, plus a calmer evening routine, sets the stage for the infusion technique I'll teach you with exact amounts and timing so you don't overshoot. The next tip is one of the most important. Ignoring it won't just limit your results, it could lead to serious side effects if you're not careful. So follow it with attention and a calm, informed mindset. You've started to notice patterns: restless legs on the nights you chase convenience, calmer muscles on the nights you hydrate with intention, eat more color, and loosen those tight bed sheets. That awareness is already changing your sleep. Today, I want to share a small twist that feels almost like kitchen magic. Not a miracle, not a cure-all, but a quietly helpful habit that respects how your body works. It begins with something most people in North America toss straight into the trash or compost: the peel of a banana. Stay with me here. Bananas are famous for potassium, but it's the peel that carries a whisper of minerals and plant compounds that, when treated gently, can steep into a soothing evening infusion. I had my first skeptical sip after seeing a neighbor, an ICU nurse who loves simple, evidence-minded routines, save the peel after her kids' smoothies and brew it like tea. The flavor surprised me. Mild, a little floral, a little vanilla-like, even before she added a cinnamon stick. The point isn't to chase a detox or a magic fix. It's to give your nervous system and muscles a nudge toward calm while you also fix the bigger patterns we've already discussed. Let's talk common sense before technique. Peels sit on the outside world. They deserve a bit of care. Rinse the banana under cool running water and massage the peel with a drop of mild dish soap or a spoonful of baking soda dissolved in water. Rinse thoroughly. If you have access, choose organic when possible, especially if you plan to make this a regular ritual. Trim the stem and the tip and inspect for bruises or mold. If it smells off, don't use it. Place the washed peel on a clean towel while you set up. A quick word on who should tread carefully. If you live with kidney disease, heart failure, or you take medicines that raise potassium, like certain ACE inhibitors, potassium-sparing diuretics, or ARBs, extra potassium may not be appropriate for you. If you have a known banana allergy or latex fruit sensitivity, skip this entirely. If you're pregnant or breastfeeding or preparing anything for children, keep things plain, small, and pre-approved by a clinician. Health content is most helpful when it honors your unique situation. Now the gentle craft. The goal is an infusion, not a boil. Too much heat for too long can make the peel taste bitter, and for some people, irritating to the stomach. Think of it like coaxing out the good and keeping the cup easy to sip. Slice the clean peel into a few pieces to increase surface area. Use filtered water if you can, and a small stainless steel or ceramic pot. You'll bring the water just to the edge of a simmer, then let the peel steep while the heat stays low and patient. Keep the lid on during steeping to preserve aroma and reduce evaporation. That lid is more important than most people think. Flavor is a companion to consistency. If you love a hint of warmth, Add a small piece of cinnamon stick or a thin slice of fresh ginger while the peel steeps, then remove it before drinking. Skip sugar and heavy syrups. Sweetness right before bed can pull your sleep quality in the wrong direction. If you like a rounder flavor, a splash of milk alternative after straining can soften the edges without loading the cup with sugar. Let's connect this to the day you just lived. Maybe you grabbed a large coffee at the drive-thru, had a bagel on the run, and microwaved a frozen pizza for dinner. Maybe you crushed a hard workout and sweated more than you realized on a hot afternoon. Your muscles are still conducting electricity all evening, cueing you to stretch and settle. This peel infusion isn't the hero. It's the side character that makes the scene work. A small, steady cue that your body can exhale now. Mistakes worth avoiding make all the difference. Don't let the pot rip into a rolling boil once the peel is in. That rough agitation can pull out bitterness without adding value. Don't throw in handfuls of spices because you saw a viral short that promised extra fat burning. Strong spices can irritate the stomach and make sleep choppy. Don't drink a huge mug right before lying down. Modest amounts sipped slowly are kinder to your bladder and your night. And please don't rely on packaged banana tea powders loaded with sweeteners and fillers when a simple peel from a banana you already ate will do. There's also a smart way to make this fit a North American kitchen that runs on speed. On a weeknight, save the peels from bananas you used in oatmeal, pancakes, or post-workout smoothies. Wash them right away, pat dry, and keep them in a sealed container in the fridge for the evening. When life gets busy, ritual beats spontaneity. Knowing that small pot will be on the stove at the same time every night trains your nervous system to anticipate rest. Taste teaches you whether you're on track. A well-made infusion looks pale amber, smells gently sweet, and doesn't leave a scratchy aftertaste. If your cup is deep brown and puckers your tongue, you likely used too much heat or time. Adjust. This is less about perfection and more about learning a feel, an intuitive confidence that builds over a few nights. Finally, remember that the peel is here to support a bigger plan. Keep your caffeine cutoff in the early afternoon. Keep dinners colorful rather than extreme. Stretch softly and free your ankles from tight covers. That's the foundation. The infusion is your calming exclamation mark at the end of the day's sentence. If you notice abdominal discomfort, unusual swelling, persistent weakness, or numbness alongside cramps, pause the ritual and seek a professional evaluation. Educational guidance empowers you to experiment safely, but it doesn't replace clinical care when signs point to something more complex. For most healthy adults, a light, well-prepared peel infusion is a gentle, low-cost way to nudge balance in your favor. The next tip is one of the most important. Ignoring it won't just limit your results. It could lead to serious side effects if you're not careful, so follow it with attention and a calm, informed mindset. You've met the unsung ingredient, and you've learned why technique, not force, makes the difference. Tonight is about craft. I want you to think like a patient chef and a curious tinkerer, because the way you handle water, heat, time, and cover can turn the same peel into a soothing cup or a bitter note you'll never want again. When people tell me they tried it and it didn't help, 9 times out of 10, the culprit is a hard boil that bullied the peel rather than coaxing it. Start with water quality. If your tap water tastes metallic or chlorine-heavy, filter it. You don't need a luxury system. Pitcher filters are fine. Use a small pot made of stainless steel or ceramic rather than reactive aluminum. Rinse the pot quickly with hot water before you begin. Pre-warming helps keep the temperature gentle and steady. Slice the clean peel into 2 or 3 pieces to create more surface area, but avoid shredding. Too many tiny bits make straining messy and can over-extract the pith. Heat is the heartbeat of this process. Bring the water just to the first rise of tiny bubbles along the edges. Think of it as the whisper before a boil. That point is enough to start extraction without the violence of rolling bubbles. Once the peel is in, lower the heat until the surface looks calm, with an occasional soft burp of steam. If you see vigorous bubbling, you've gone too far. Pull it back and breathe. Keep the lid on during steeping. The lid is not decoration. It keeps aromatic compounds in the pot and prevents water loss that concentrates bitterness. Time is a window, not a law. Under-extract, and you'll wonder what the fuss was about. Over-extract, and you'll make a cup that tries to fight you. You're aiming for a pale amber color that smells like a quiet bakery. Faintly sweet, a little bready, never sharp. If your kitchen light is dim, use a white mug or bowl to check color contrast. When the hue is right, remove the peel with tongs and let the infusion sit off the heat with the lid on for a short rest. That pause evens out the flavor without pushing it over the edge. There's a subtle move that helps preserve balance. Pair the cup with a small, mineral-friendly snack if you haven't eaten for hours. A few almond slivers or a spoonful of plain yogurt can keep your stomach settled and slow absorption just enough to feel smooth. Skip heavy desserts late at night. Sugar spikes make sleep lighter and muscles twitchier for many people. Let's talk hygiene and storage, because safety is part of feeling good about any ritual. Wash your hands before handling the peel. Use clean utensils and a clean cutting board. If you make more infusion than you want to drink at once, transfer the extra to a clean, lidded jar while it's still warm. Let it cool on the counter for a short period, then refrigerate. Use it within a day. Reheat gently, never a rolling boil. If it smells off or looks cloudy, toss it and start fresh. This is one of those places where better safe than waste-averse is the right mindset. The spice question comes up a lot. Cinnamon, ginger, or a shaving of vanilla bean can make the cup lovely, but restraint matters. Spices are potent. A large stick of cinnamon or a hunk of fresh ginger can overwhelm your stomach and turn a calming ritual into a restless night. If you enjoy aromatic warmth, use just a hint and remove it before steeping ends. People sometimes sprinkle nutmeg because it's on the holiday shelf. Don't do that here. Nutmeg can be stimulating and, in larger amounts, problematic. A word on salt and minerals to round out the picture. People often ask whether they should add a pinch of salt to the cup. I prefer using salt in balanced home-cooked meals rather than in the infusion itself. Dinner is the place for a modest, thoughtful pinch: roasted vegetables, a lean protein, a bowl of beans, especially if you've been active or live in a hot climate. That context lets your body handle sodium alongside potassium and magnesium in a natural pattern. If your clinician has restricted your sodium or potassium, stick strictly to their plan. Technique also includes the way you drink. Sip slowly, pay attention to how your body responds over 20 to 30 minutes, and avoid stacking the cup on top of a large glass of water right before bed. If you're waking to use the bathroom, taper fluids earlier in the evening and make your infusion a smaller pour. People in North America often eat late after long commutes. If that's you, aim to finish dinner earlier and give the cup a clear lane to work. No competing caffeine, no after-dinner sodas, no alcohol riding shotgun. Troubleshooting is where you become your own guide. If you feel queasy, you likely went too strong or too spicy. Dial it back. If you feel no difference after several calm, consistent nights, zoom out to the foundation. Caffeine timing, dinner quality, gentle stretches, and sheet looseness at the foot of the bed. The peel infusion is supportive, not sovereign. Muscles love patterns more than they love hacks. 2 final refinements for those who enjoy precision. First, score the inside of the peel lightly with the tip of a knife before it meets the water. Those faint crosshatches release flavor without shredding. Second, listen for sound. A quiet pot makes a soft, intermittent hiss rather than a bubbling chatter. If you hear chatter, lower the heat until the kitchen gets calm. If you live with kidney disease, heart conditions, or you take medicines that affect electrolytes, this gentle technique could still be the wrong fit for you. Discuss it with your clinician before you experiment. If leg cramps appear with swelling, persistent weakness, chest discomfort, or numbness, don't troubleshoot at home. Seek a professional evaluation. Educational guidance is powerful only when it sits next to medical care where needed. What you're building here is a sustainable ritual: quality water, careful heat, respectful time, a covered rest, and a mindful sip. That combination tells your nervous system, you can power down now, which is what many modern bodies, fueled by refills of coffee, fast casual dinners, and late-night screens, rarely hear. Keep the craft simple, keep the inputs clean, and let consistency do the heavy lifting. The next tip is one of the most important. Ignoring it won't just limit your results. It could lead to serious side effects if you're not careful, so follow it with attention and a calm, informed mindset. You've practiced the calm ritual. Steady hydration earlier in the day, colorful plates instead of salt-heavy takeout, gentle stretches, and that patient-covered infusion that asks your nervous system to power down. Some nights already feel easier. That's a meaningful win. Now we widen the lens and talk about when a leg cramp is just a reminder and when it's a nudge to look deeper. This isn't about fear. It's about reading your body with the same curiosity you brought to the kitchen. Start with patterns, not single moments. A lone cramp after a hard workout on a hot day makes sense. A run of nightly cramps that ignore smarter habits deserves a closer look. Keep a simple 7-day log: wake times, bedtime, caffeine timing, alcohol, salty or ultra-processed meals, frozen pizza, boxed mac and cheese, instant noodles, workouts, long car commutes, screen time in bed, and any medications or supplements you changed. Patterns are easier to fix than mysteries. Some signals ask for professional evaluation rather than home tweaks. If cramps travel with persistent swelling in the legs or feet, unusual weakness, numbness that doesn't fade, dark or cola-colored urine after exertion, chest discomfort, or shortness of breath, press pause on experiments and seek care. If you live with kidney disease or heart failure, or you take medicines that affect potassium or sodium, like diuretics, ACE inhibitors, ARBs, or potassium-sparing combinations, your electrolyte balance lives by different rules. What's helpful for a healthy runner can be risky for someone with renal challenges. Educational guidance works best when it sits next to a clinician's plan for your specific situation. Let's talk about habits that quietly push cramps forward in a typical North American day. There's the bottomless diner coffee mug that stretches into the afternoon. There's the after-work energy drink because traffic drained you more than the gym did. There's the quick dinner built from boxed sides and barbecue sauce that reads as sweet but hides a heavy salt load. Each choice alone is manageable. Together, they lean you toward restless legs at midnight. One intentional swap per day changes the arc. Cut off caffeine in the early afternoon. Trade the energy drink for cold water with a squeeze of citrus and a few sips of milk or yogurt with dinner. Build the plate around a bag of mixed greens, a roasted sweet potato, and a protein you can cook on autopilot: salmon, chicken thighs, or beans and quinoa. Keep a small jar of pumpkin seeds within reach instead of pretzels. There's a grocery detail that avoids a common backfire. Many salt substitute shakers are made with potassium chloride. That can be useful for some people, but it can also spike potassium unexpectedly, especially if you're already using the banana peel infusion at night. If your clinician hasn't specifically advised a salt substitute, stick with moderate amounts of regular salt in home-cooked meals and let fruits and vegetables carry the potassium. Pair salt with color on the plate rather than sprinkling potassium chloride on everything. If a label says potassium chloride, treat it as a supplement, not a seasoning. Training muscles to relax is as practical as training them to work. A 2-minute routine before bed can lower nighttime surprises. Stand at arm's length from a wall and do a gentle calf stretch with the knee straight, then bent. Sit and circle each ankle slowly 10 times. Roll each foot over a tennis ball, pausing at tender spots while breathing out. The rule is slow and smooth. Effortful, bouncy stretches send mixed signals. Easy, sustained stretches tell your nervous system that the day's sprint is over. Hydration needs nuance. Both chugging late and underdrinking all afternoon backfire. Think in arcs: most of your water by late afternoon, a steady taper into the evening, and a modest, warm cup for your infusion. Aim for pale straw urine by bedtime. If you're peeing crystal clear every hour, your body might be flushing minerals faster than you replace them. Add mineral-rich foods and consider whether caffeine or alcohol are asking too much of your system. Sleep mechanics matter more than most people realize. Tight bedding that pins your toes pointing downward keeps your calves shortened and ready to cramp. Loosen the foot of the bed. Put your phone on a charger away from the nightstand so doom scrolling doesn't steal the first half hour of sleep depth. If you work late hours or juggle multiple jobs, as many people do, protect a wind-down routine that fits your schedule, even if it doesn't fit a textbook. Dim lights, quiet kitchen, consistent cup, simple stretches. Let's clear up 2 myths that cost people progress. The first is that more spice means more benefit. Stronger is not better at night. Overspicing an infusion can irritate your stomach and fragment sleep. The second is that supplements always beat food. While targeted supplements have a place under medical guidance, most viewers do better by returning to basics. Fiber-rich carbs like sweet potatoes and beans, leafy greens, nuts and seeds, and lean proteins. Food brings context, fiber, fluid, and a pace your body understands. When progress stalls despite thoughtful habits, ask if your day contains small, repeating stressors, hours of air conditioning or winter heat that dries you out, long meetings with no water nearby, a habit of skipping lunch and overeating later, high-intensity workouts packed too close to bedtime. Adjust one dial at a time. Move intense exercise earlier when possible. Keep a water bottle on your desk. Pack a banana and a handful of almonds for the commute. Split dinner into 2 lighter plates if late meals are your reality. A note on special groups. During pregnancy, leg cramps are common and usually benign, but mineral strategies should be personalized. Review them with your prenatal clinician. For older adults, medications and lower thirst cues change the hydration picture. Steady, moderate intake paired with balanced meals is safer than late-night catch-up. For people with diabetes, be mindful that fruit and sweetened drinks, even natural ones, affect glucose. Focus on whole fruit, portion awareness, and the steady plate we've outlined. Finally, remember why you started this. Not to chase a hack, but to build nights that restore you and mornings that feel steady. The warning sign your body sent wasn't there to scare you. It was there to invite you to pay attention. You've proven you can do that. Keep your log, honor red flags, and double down on the simple, repeatable moves that make your system quieter. The next tip is one of the most important. Ignoring it won't just limit your results. It could lead to serious side effects if you're not careful. So follow it with attention and a calm, informed mindset. You've built the foundation. Earlier caffeine cutoffs, colorful dinners instead of salt-heavy convenience, slow evening stretches, and a patient approach to hydration. You learned how technique, not force, turns a simple peel into a calming cup. Tonight we place the final piece with precise preparation, clear guardrails, and the small bonus I promised that helps you read your hydration at a glance. This is where careful numbers and timing matter. Done well, it feels like a soft hand on the shoulder telling your muscles it's safe to let go. Done carelessly, it can upset your stomach or push your minerals in the wrong direction. Begin with selection and cleaning. Choose a fresh, ripe banana without mold or deep bruises. Wash it under cool running water. Massage the peel with a pinch of baking soda or a drop of mild dish soap. Rinse thoroughly and pat dry with a clean towel. Trim off the stem and tip. If you have access to organic fruit, it's a sensible choice for a peel you plan to steep. If not, the wash and rinse routine is your ally. Now, for exact measurements. For one gentle serving, measure 300 to 350 milliliters of filtered water, about 1:1/4 to 1:1/2 cups. Slice the clean peel into 2 or 3 large pieces. Avoid shredding. Place a small stainless steel or ceramic pot on the stove and pour in the water. Bring it to the first appearance of tiny bubbles at the edges, just before a simmer. Add the peel and, if you enjoy a hint of aroma, a very small piece of cinnamon stick, about 2 to 3 centimeters. Immediately lower the heat so the surface is calm. Cover the pot with a lid and let it steep for 7 to 10 minutes. You're looking for a pale amber color, not brown. Remove the peel and the cinnamon with tongs, keep the lid on, and let the liquid rest off heat for 3 to 5 minutes. Strain into a mug. How you drink it matters. Sip slowly over 10 to 20 minutes in the last hour before bedtime. Do not add sugar or heavy syrups. If you prefer a softer mouthfeel, a tablespoon of an unsweetened milk alternative after straining is fine. 1 serving is enough. More is not better at night. For most healthy adults, using this ritual 3 or 4 nights per week is plenty. On very hot days or after sweaty workouts, prioritize mineral-aware meals rather than stacking multiple cups. Safety deserves clear words. Avoid this infusion if you have kidney disease, heart failure, or a known need to restrict potassium. If you take medicines that raise potassium or alter kidney function, ACE inhibitors, ARBs, potassium-sparing diuretics, certain antibiotics, review the ritual with your clinician before trying it. Skip if you have banana allergy or latex fruit sensitivity. This is not for infants or young children. If you notice unusual swelling, persistent weakness, tingling that does not fade, chest discomfort, or shortness of breath, stop experimenting and seek care. Educational guidance is a companion to, not a replacement for, clinical judgment. A short troubleshooting guide makes consistency easier. If the cup tastes bitter, you likely boiled too hard or too long. Next time, use lower heat and a shorter window. If you feel queasy, reduce steep time and skip spices. If you're up at night to urinate, taper fluids earlier in the evening and keep your serving modest. If you see no change after a week of calm practice, revisit fundamentals: caffeine timing, plate color, gentle stretches, and a loosened foot of the bed. Here's the promised bonus: the 3-color hydration check. It's quick, free, and surprisingly informative. Pale straw suggests you're on track. Bright yellow tells you to spread water more evenly and to include mineral-rich foods: bananas, avocados, beans, leafy greens, especially earlier in the day. Amber or darker is your cue to prioritize hydration and reduce caffeine and alcohol. If that deeper color persists despite steady intake, that's worth discussing with a clinician. This check is not a diagnosis, it's a simple steering wheel for your daily choices. Let's tuck this into a real-world routine many North American households recognize. Mornings often start fast: bagel and coffee on the way to work, kids drop off, a commute. Keep the first cup of coffee if it suits you. Set a firm cutoff by early afternoon. Lunch can be a grocery store rotisserie chicken with a large salad and beans. Hydrate with water alongside, not afterward in a rush. If you train after work, sip water steadily and add mineral-rich foods at dinner instead of grabbing a neon sports drink out of habit. Build dinner from a sheet pan: salmon or tofu, a heap of mixed vegetables, and roasted sweet potatoes with a modest pinch of salt. Dim the lights an hour before bed, do your gentle calf routine, and steep your measured cup with patience. That sequence speaks your muscles' language: predictable, calm, repeatable. Know when not to improvise. Don't add nutmeg, excess ginger, or big cinnamon sticks because a viral video said, "More is more." Don't pour in honey, syrups, or sweet creamers that pull sleep out of reach. Don't brew a giant pot and leave it at room temperature overnight. Refrigerate leftovers promptly and drink within 24 hours. Don't combine the infusion with salt substitutes labeled as potassium chloride unless a clinician has told you to. Those products can move potassium quickly. What emerges from these small choices is a different relationship with your body's signals. The cramp you once framed as an enemy becomes a teacher. The warning sign was never a siren. It was a subtle dashboard light saying, "Check balance." You responded with color on the plate, steady water, an earlier caffeine cutoff, and one careful cup that helps your nervous system downshift. Nights settle. Mornings stop feeling like a negotiation. Carry this forward with a light grip. Consistency beats intensity. On busy days, aim for good enough rather than perfect. If you slip, restart the ritual without drama and share what works. Someone in your circle is living on drive-through meals, bottomless refill coffee, and jumpy legs that steal their sleep. Offer them this simple plan without judgment. If this guidance helped you, share it with a friend or family member. Leave a like so the platform shows it to more people, and subscribe so you can learn practical, responsible ways to support your health. The value of knowledge grows when it's passed along.